It has been a violent summer so far in Brooklyn Park this year. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us some non-traditional steps police are taking to stop the violence.
I'm concerned for what this summer brings.
For Brooklyn Park Police to say summer has gotten off to a rocky start would be an understatement. In the month of June alone, there have been at least 18 shots fired cases, with 4 people hit by bullets, including 1 fatality.
We've never seen the amount of lawlessness that we're seeing.
The police chief says the department isn't getting anywhere on the cases, and he says people won't cooperate with investigations while others interfere at crime scenes.
The violent crimes are happening all over the city, but this Zane corridor is a hotspot. Police are increasing patrols, and they're teaming up with religious leaders to try to make inroads with the community.
God, we need your divine wisdom and direction.
Faith leaders, police, and city officials recently met to talk about stopping the violence.
God is calling on his faith leaders here today to rebuild trust, to rebuild accountability, to rebuild hope.
They issued a passionate plea for peace.
We must come together in Brooklyn Park. 2 critically important forces in any community are faith leaders and the police department.
We're hoping to rid our community with the lawlessness that's going on right now. It's bad. It's getting really bad.
Because here's what we know. We know we got to do something.
Wednesday, Reverend Jerry McAfee took action.
Endless mercy, endless mercy.
Launching a 21 Days of Peace initiative in Brooklyn Park.
The goal is to get the church out of the church into the community, because most of those young men and those young women, they're connected to somebody that we know.
As we kick this first day off in Brooklyn Park and Brooklyn Center, we pray God for the peace that surpasses all understanding.
Reverend McAfee, who lives in Brooklyn Park, will join other volunteers from local churches to visit hotspots in the city.
For 21 straight days, we put 63rd and Zane on lockdown.
For the next 3 weeks, there will be nonstop presence of pastors, church, and community members at this strip mall where 2 shootings recently occurred.
It's important to be out here because our community is hurting, and the Brooklyns need people to stand up and stand with them.
The goal is to lower crime and connect with the community.
Let's take back our city by standing and uniting together.
A similar plan in Minneapolis had a positive impact.
In every place where we planted our feet, violence went down.
And we know that fear is abundant here in this neighborhood. Let's cast out all fear.
The volunteers are armed with resources, employment, and food shelf information, prayers, and passion to help their neighbors.
And try to communicate with the people who are hanging out and figure out what we can do to help them, or what it is they feel that's missing from their community to get them out and doing something else.
The work can be dangerous. In Minneapolis, one of the volunteers was hit by a stray bullet. I asked Lee if she was concerned.
No, I'm not. Actually, I come down here all the time. I actually come down here to shop.
Another nonprofit group is also proposing to get involved. Minnesota Acts Now plans to have boots on the ground in Brooklyn Park.
We are not here to fight. We are here to bridge, to bring people together and say, hey, listen, there's a better way of life.
Both groups say they want peace and hope to remain long after the crime-fighting initiatives end.
Well, I hope it looks a little bit bigger and brighter and broader. People out communicating with each other, engaging with each other. But I know that I live here. I love my community. I love my city.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
This summer, students in the Robbinsdale School District will stay engaged through a program called Freedom Schools. Freedom Schools started in Mississippi in the 1960s and operate through the Children's Defense Fund as a way to engage children academically and culturally. This is how a 6-week program called Freedom Schools kicks off every morning at Meadow Lake Elementary in New Hope.
It's an opportunity for us to come together and to get excited about the day before we embark on our learning.
Students in grades K through 8 opted into this 6-week pilot program. Students are called scholars here and say this morning gathering is one of the best parts of the day.
We do what's called a harambe, and it's a Swahili word, and it's a fun opportunity for scholars to engage in some dancing, physical activity, They do cheers and chants.
Freedom schools are like a cultural summer camp with an academic focus.
Through the lens of an African American culture or the American Indian culture, we hope that they see their own selves, and if that's not their culture that they represent, but they see their own selves in the varieties of cultures, and they learn about their own culture through this experience.
Scholars are divided into small groups to learn.
Where else do you matter outside of here?
They work on reading in the classroom, but they also have several local speakers and fun activities planned with community members too.
My hope is that the scholars leave with a better sense of community, fellowship, and social justice responsibilities, and a sense of their own culture and background.
Another big part of this program is that the students have access to multicultural books to read about their culture. This summer, the Osseo School District is also doing more to keep students engaged. They are hosting a Summer of Wellness.
Our idea with the Summer of Wellness is really just to provide activities and engagement experiences for the entire family that feed the mind, body, and soul. Right? So we're focusing on what do you need to be physically active? What do you need for your mind? What does your spirit need right now?
This week is soccer camp for students who signed up for the Summer of Wellness. Activities have also included hip-hop yoga, virtual cooking classes, theater camp, and more, all geared to let students connect.
Also, I really truly believe like this connection is great right now as we're kind of getting back to what seems like normal. How do we just interact? How do we bring our scholars together? How do we ease them into being back around scholars every day?
The Community Engagement Department is the one who put together the Summer of Wellness, and it's not too late to sign up either. If you're interested, we've got a link to a schedule posted on our website.